Jane, are you still at the dress shop? If you are, you need to drop that dress and leave that place this instant.
Huh?
I don't have all the time in the world for a nitwit like you, so I'm simply going to go straight to the point. I've called the event planners and asked for them to cancel the engagement party. I've also retracted the payment made for the hall.
What? Why would you do all that without telling me first, Betty?
It's pretty simple, really, even though I see you don't get it. But since you cannot read the writing on the wall, how about I spell it out for you? You will not marry my son.
Okay. I've never been more confused in my entire life than I am right now. What the hell is going on?
I found your dirty little secret.
Secret? I'm not keeping any secret from you or anyone else, for that matter. And even if I were, it does not warrant you calling off all plans for my engagement party without consulting with me.
I found out you're an only child.
Is that it? Of course I'm an only child, just like Jack. What's the problem with that?
Nothing. Nothing. Only, I discovered that you have a single mother who had you out of wedlock.
What are you doing? Stalking my life? Oh, no. And it's just a harmless little background check.
And does Jack know you've been doing this?
Why are you being so paranoid?
I always knew the boy had no brains of his own. But I will not sit back and watch him bring shame upon our family by bringing an unwanted child with cheating blood into our home.
Excuse me? Did you just call me an unwanted child?
It appears I did. And guess what? I'll do it over and over again if I want to.
Look, Betty, I really don't mind that you have reservations about me or my background. Besides, you've never really liked me. But what I will not have you do is throw hands with me. Or any other personal shades for that matter. I did not decide when and how I was born.
But you were born out of wedlock regardless. And that still consolidates my point. The Smiths have a long-standing tradition of decent marriages. Jack's father and all the fathers before him had spotless marriages that birthed classy and socially acceptable children. For that reason, we do not have kids outside of our marriages. We don't even marry from blended families, much less divided ones. And we definitely don't get married to unwanted children.
I am not unwanted.
But I didn't say you were. See? Your guilty conscience is revolting.
What? Guilty conscience? What have I done to you?
I want you to leave Jack alone. I don't want you or anything that has to do with you around us.
What does he have to say concerning this?
He does not have to say anything. I'm his mother, and his opinion cannot count over mine. Get that into your thick skull.
So, what do you want me to do now?
Nice of you to ask. Well, I need you to pay a visit to the jeweler and sell your engagement ring.
Huh?
Not just that, but I want you to return the money for the ring to me. It could be put to better use.
You are unbelievable.
What is unbelievable is you trying to rope my son into a mistake of a marriage. I will not stand for that. So call Jack and tell him the engagement has been called off.
Mom, why would you call up the plans for my engagement party without telling me first?
Oh, I see she has told you already. That silly girl. But must you accost me like everybody else? Not even an atom of respect for your dearest mother?
You know I respect you, Mom. However, respect is reciprocal, and I expect you to respect me as well. I'm no longer a child, you know.
Oh, really? So what are you now?
A man, Mom.
A man? Really? Wow. That's funny. You're still my little boy, Jack. And I want only what's best for you. As a matter of fact, I'm doing exactly that right now. Saving you from a colossal error. I know you may not see it now, because love is blind and all. But you will with time, and you'll thank me later. You'll see.
Please respect my decisions and reinstate the plans you ruined, Mom.
I will do no such thing.
Don't make this more difficult than it already is, Mom. This is my life, and you do not have the right to step in uninvited and make such major decisions on my behalf.
Don't you get it, Jack? That girl is not wife material. She has tendencies to infidelity. And that's something we do not condone in this family.
Tendencies to infidelity? Simply because her mother and dad were not married when they had her? I never knew you were so narrow-minded, Mom.
Call it whatever you will. I stand by my initial conclusions. You will not marry that girl. Not while I am alive, at least. If you want to get married so badly, I'll find you a pretty educated lass from a decent home to wed.
I don't want a pretty lass from wherever. I want Jane, and I'll get married to her, whether you give us your blessings or not.
You wouldn't dare. You cannot go against my desires, Jack. You're my only son, and I'm simply trying to do what is best for you in the long run. Just look at it. Your father and I have been happily married for decades. We had you together in the confines of holy matrimony. And now that you're grown and very successful, can you not see the amount of respect it has gained us in society? That's exactly what I want for you, son.
All my life, it has always been what you think and what society thinks. No one has ever bothered to ask me how I felt or what I thought. So at this point, I no longer care what you or society think anymore. I'll be my own man and do my own thing. And that includes getting married to the woman I love, regardless of what you think about it.
Jack, darling, I know you're just angry now. Let me give you some time to think about it. You'll come around soon enough. I know you will.
Undo all the damage you've done, Mom, or
What?
Jane and I will elope and have our wedding without you, Dad, or anyone else, and you'll never again set your eyes on me, Jane, or any children we may have as a result of our union.
No! You can't do that.
Call Jane and fix what you have spoiled, else you will not like the outcome of this.
You must do as I say, Jack.
Don't underestimate me, Mom. I'm begging you.
You have succeeded, haven't you? Are you happy now?
Huh?
You've succeeded in turning my own son against his mother. Jack spoke to me today in a manner he has never done before. And it's all your fault.
Well, I did not ask him to disrespect you or anything, Betty. I just told him what you did and said, naturally, he was pissed. Anyone in his right senses would forgive his indiscretion if he went a little overboard. But it shouldn't be too hard for you to do, right? He's your precious son, after all.
Are you saying that I'm not in my right senses?
No. How can I say that? You're the best mother in the world who does only what's best for her kids.
You're right.
Oh, please. Cut me some slack. You're a crazy, self-centered woman who cares more about her social standing than her son's joy and happiness. I would have preferred it if you were not already Jack's mom, because you pissed me off on so many different levels. But fate has dealt sourly with me, so what can I do?
He threatened to run away with you and get married no matter what I say.
He did? Aw, that's super romantic.
I know you incited him to say that.
No, I didn't. Jack came up with that all by himself. However, I understand why you would be surprised anyway. You're not used to having him speak up and challenge your decisions. I notice he never had the courage to stand up to you. I'm happy I could change that.
I never liked you. You know, I have a terrible feeling you'll ruin this family.
I'm sorry if that's how you feel, but I have no intentions whatsoever to ruin your family. I just want to get married to your son and get out of your way. Note that I will not step on anybody's feet if they did not first step on mine.
Whatever. I had to take laws into my own hands one way or another. So I came up with some measures to curb your cheating tendencies.
Cheating tendencies? What are those anyway?
You'll have to pay me dowry to be able to marry my son.
What?
Yes, $100,000. After 10 years, if you're both still married and you haven't already cheated, you'll get your money back with a 50% increase. That's $150K at the end of your decade-long probation period.
That's ridiculous. How did you even come up with that?
That's not all. You'll have to move me in to live with you and Jack during their probation period. I would love to keep an eye on you and make sure you're not involved in any extramarital activities, if you know what I mean.
Okay, you got me. Very funny.
I also want to monitor your gold digging abilities. Excuse me. The reason is simple. You were not there through the hustle and grind. You have no idea what Jack had to go through to get where he is right now. Only I was there for him. Not even his father. So I will not have you, a total stranger, surface from the blues and take up all I've worked for. Get it?
Enough! Enough of all these insults! I've had it for way too long with you, only because of how much I love Jack. But this is the last straw, and I cannot take it anymore.
You're all bark and no bite, Missy. You cannot stand up to me, even if you tried.
Then you're in for a huge surprise. I'm not the gold digger, but the gold and Jack's life.
How was that?
I am his boss.
What?
You would know that if you had an actual relationship with your son. We met at my office, and we've been together for 6 years since then. So when you're blabbing about who was there for him, you need to know that that was me. I was involved more deeply than you can ever think of.
Okay. You're his boss, and so what? It still doesn't change my mind about you.
I'm also carrying Jack's baby.
What the?
I know Jack didn't want me to say this, but I did regardless. Because I need to get you off your high horse. We're 2 months along already, so any further delay to this wedding will mean the entire society seeing your dirty linen.
Jack has finally brought shame upon us.
He didn't bring any shame upon you. You did this to yourself with your barbaric ideas and beliefs. I will get married to your son, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Jack, pick up the damn phone. I'm gonna smash your head with a bottle if you do not respond right now.
Smash my head? How do you intend to do that? Over the phone?
That's not the point, silly boy.
Then what is it? Mom, I'm at work and I really do not have time for long chats right now.
When were you going to tell me
Tell you what?
that Jane was your boss at work?
Haha, that? I told you, don't you remember? She's the reason I have all that I do.
You let me make a fool of myself by calling her a gold digger.
You did what? You shouldn't have done that, Mom. That's my boss. That girl has more money than you can imagine. She doesn't need me for anything. That's why I feel so lucky to be in her life.
Please tell me you're getting married to her for the money, because we need a lot of that.
No! I want her because I love her.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, what about the child?
She told you that? Gosh, she shouldn't have.
How am I going to brag to people about having the most perfect family now? What if her morning sickness sets in on the wedding day and she throws up all over you? She'll just embarrass the entire family. Oh my god.
I'm sorry about everything, Mom, but the deed is done now. We were hoping to quietly get our wedding done and travel somewhere to have our baby. But you made a fuss and ruined all of our plans.
Fine, I shouldn't have made a fuss. I was only looking out for my son. But it has backfired on me now. So what do we do now?
I was thinking of a small wedding instead, with only close-knit friends and family attendance.
Hell no! You cannot have a small wedding. The Smiths always do events in grand style. Anything less, and people will easily figure out something is wrong. It's just crazy that I was trying to protect my son from a cheating wife. I didn't even know she was already cheating with you.
You're overreacting. Mom, it is not cheating if she's doing it with me.
The Smiths do not have kids outside wedlock.
We'll be married before you can say Jack Robinson. So the baby will be born within wedlock. Please calm down.
I'm trying, Jack. You've just destroyed the reputation I struggled for years to build.
This is not about you, Mom. Anyway, I'll be taking Jane to see Dad by the weekend.
Why?
He said he wouldn't come home from his work trip in time for our wedding, but he offered to pay for our flight tickets to come see him.
Oh, really? And he won't pay for mine?
Maybe he just needs a break from all of this.
All of what?
Nothing, Mom, nothing. Jane says her dad is over there for a business trip as well. So we'll take the opportunity to see both of them at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a little tense. What if Dad doesn't like Jane? Plus, he's always been a little hard on me. What if he comes up with his own restrictions and objections to our union?
He's your dad. Just go see him first. If he poses an objection, you can either concede to his demands or threaten to elope like you did earlier.
Haha.
Stop pulling my legs, Mom. Hi, son. Are you not home from your trip yet? I need Jane to come over to the dress shop for a fitting. You're online, Jack. Why are you not saying anything? Is something wrong?
Mom, who was my father?
Huh? Why would you ask me such a question? You know who your father is.
If so, how is it that my father is Jane's father as well?
What? How?
Dad is Jane's biological father as well. Mom, what don't you understand?
Smith cheated on me. He cheated on me. My whole life is ruined now. Oh, how do I tell the world? My family heritage was not a heritage after all.
Will you talk now, or do I have to force it out of you?
Talk about what? You're being very rude to me right now. Your mother's heart is shattered, and all you can do is threaten me?
My trip with Jane was not at all what I expected, Mom. I was afraid my fiancée who was carrying my child was my sister. So we all had to take DNA tests to clear out the fog.
And no one called me?
There's no need to call the author of the confusion.
What do you mean by that?
Will you tell the truth or not?
There is no need to be told, Jack. Your dad is a cheat.
The DNA test results shows he's not my dad. Who is my dad, Mom? Have I been living a lie all my life?
I'm sorry, Jack. I should have told you earlier.
Tell me now.
Yes, Smith is not your father. I cheated on him during our honeymoon trip with the bartender at the lounge of the hotel we were lodged at.
What? How can you tell me that after all of these years? After I've gotten used to a life of luxury?
I tried to reach out to him after you were born, but I heard he was dead.
Oh no.
So I decided to play along.
And for all these years, Dad thought he had a son.
That's why I didn't want you to marry just anyone. I kept coming up with excuses to ruin all your relationships. Because I was scared you might one day get married to your sister without knowing.
But you ended up ruining my life anyway, Mom. You lied to me all my life. You accused all my ex-girlfriends of doing something you were guilty of.
I'm sorry, Jack. I really didn't mean to hurt you. Can you forgive me?
Can you mend broken glass? No, right? That's the same way I cannot forgive you. From today on, you're no longer my mother. I hate you.
I had a feeling you would ruin my family, Jane. I knew you would crush all that I have worked for with your stupid, evil presence.
Oh. Hi, Betty.
Don't. I don't ever want to hear my name out of your mouth again. You're evil. Just evil. Because of you, my son will no longer talk to me. And my husband has refused to come home.
I did not do anything intentionally. It is not my fault. Your husband is my father. Neither is it my fault that you cheated and lied to him. I'm only a victim of circumstance, as is Jack and Dad. You're the real evil one here.
I'll make sure you pay. You'll pay for all you've done, Jane.
Well, there's not much you can do, Betty. You've lost this game already. You should be apologizing for all that you have done and not cussing or threatening us. I'm just happy that Jack and I are not siblings. We can still get married. And our baby will have a real, complete family without any cheating or lies.
You ruined everything, Jane. I planned to have Smith killed at his work. Jack was going to inherit everything and become stupid rich. But you ruined it all.
What? Oh my God, I have to tell him right away.
Don't. Please, don't tell him. You'll regret this. I hate you, Jane. I hate you. Jack, what did you send to my mail?
Divorce documents.
Huh?
They're from Dad.
Why did he send it through you? He should be a man and face me himself.
I actually prefer that he stays as far away from you as possible. We know you're planning to assassinate him and take over all his property and assets.
What? I did not plan to kill Smith.
You don't have to lie, Betty. I was with Jane when you sent those horrendous texts. I saw everything.
Betty? Is that what you call me now? I'm still your mother, remember?
Our relationship ended long ago. I would advise you not mess up the little dignity you have left. It's the end of the road for you anyway. Your plans have failed woefully.
I was drunk, Jack. It was just a crazy woman's rant.
I find that hard to believe, though. Meanwhile, I have to keep Dad safe from a maniac like yourself. Please have those documents signed and mailed back to Dad's office in 24 hours. Else, I'll apply some force. And trust me, it won't be so much fun for you.
I'm no longer your mom, but he's still your dad? How is that even possible? If I'm going, you're going too.
Actually, we've worked on my adoption, and because he's legally my stated father, it wasn't an issue.
Why am I the only one getting punished? He cheated too.
Well, you can call him and ask him that yourself. For now, please sign those papers and stay as far away from us as possible. Who knows? I might even send a restriction order over to the police.
Please don't do that, Jack. We can sort this out as a family.
Have a nice life, Betty.
After Betty's marriage to Smith crumbled into pieces, her entire world seemed to crumble along with it. The dissolution of their relationship brought about a series of devastating events that left her feeling lost and helpless. First, she was abruptly evicted from the family house, leaving her with no choice but to face the harsh reality of being thrown onto the unforgiving streets. Stripped of any form of financial support or alimony, Betty had to investigate the treacherous waters of survival all on her own. While Smith might have believed that his decision to end the marriage was made in a haste, He found solace in the reassurance of his children. They convinced him that it was better to be safe than sorry, urging him to move forward with the difficult decision. Despite the emotional turmoil he experienced, Smith tried to convince himself that he had made the right choice, even if it meant sacrificing the stability and comfort Betty had once provided. Meanwhile, in a world seemingly untouched by Betty's heartache, I and Jane were busy immersing ourselves in the enchantment of love and new beginnings. Our wedding plans continued unabated, and we were finally able to realize the wedding of our dreams. Nestled in the midst of lush green valleys and surrounded by majestic trees and the wonders of nature, we exchanged their vows, and under the watchful gaze of the blue skies. Our joy on that blissful day was immeasurable, as we were not only joined by our loving family and friends, but also by the promise of a new life growing within Jane's womb. The presence of her unborn baby served as a poignant symbol of undying love and the limitless possibilities that lie ahead. It was a moment filled with hope where the weight of Betty's struggles temporarily faded into the background, allowing me and Jane to bask in the radiance of their own personal joy. In a world where fortunes ebb and flow, where the one person's life crumbles while another flourishes, the paradox of joy and sorrow intertwines, reminding us of the unpredictable nature of existence. As Betty grappled with the aftermath of her shattered marriage, I and Jane embarked on a journey filled with love, celebration, and the promise of a bright future. Life in all its complexity continues to unfold, weaving together stories of heartbreak and resilience of shattered dreams and newfound hope. And within the tapestry of human experience, the threads of fate intertwine, creating a symphony that resonates with the ebb and flow of life itself.